Hello everybody and welcome back to the Crooked Hour. Today we're going to be talking about a possible matchup between Usman and Chimaev. Good fight if it happens, but I'm going to just be talking about who I'm going to pick if the matchup were to happen and if it's actually going to happen, because I see everybody running with it, but we have to remember this is Khamzat Chimaev who's saying this. He's the same guy saying Robert Whittaker was ducking him. I think he was saying Paulo Costa was ducking him. He just went out on a limb and said Israel Adesanya was ducking him. He went out on a limb and said all these people were ducking him. And now he's coming out with this news. He said he's waiting for the opponent and for the contract. And he wants to fight at UFC 284 on October the 21st in nearby Abu Dhabi. And it sounds like he expects to meet Usman. A matchup White has said the UFC would be willing to book if it took place at 185. So this is just what Chimaev said. He said, Usman wants to fight, I make his last fight. He wants money, he knows where is the money, you know. Everyone knows the money, Chimaev said. I'm going to fight this guy. Abu Dhabi, smash his face, finish him. Then they have to give me that title shot. There's not money fights anymore. It's only me. Yeah, I don't know about this matchup. I think it makes sense. Because I was thinking maybe you do Usman versus Shavkat, but then thinking about it, this matchup just makes as much sense. This matchup makes equal sense. And who would I pick to win? If this matchup does go ahead, who would I pick to win? I think I'd lean Chimaev, man. And this is coming from somebody who really rates Usman. Like I thought it may look like an idiot, but I thought he was going to run through Leon in the rematch, like I did. I don't think he looked the same. Look, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I don't think he looked the same in that matchup. He looked very hesitant. Wasn't really putting on the pace as he usually does. Hesitant to throw. Probably because he was scared to get KO'd again, but there wasn't that same like fire in him that we usually see. I feel like he was off in some way. He couldn't pull that fucking trigger. He's just like Tyrone Woodley was like rubbing off on him or something. Like just very hesitant, and I feel like that fight against Leon Edwards was a fight he could have won. Like, Leon Edwards was looking alright. I mean, the leg kicks were the main weapon, but, man, it wasn't like he was just dominating Usman. I think he hit him with like a nice knee once or twice and sort of wobbled him a little bit, but it wasn't like he was just like schooling him. I feel like Usman could have won that fight, and I know I'm going to get a bit of backlash for that. Like, shout out Leon, he won. But I feel like if Usman tried a little bit harder or like wasn't so hesitant, maybe he would have got KO'd. But on the other hand, maybe he would have won. It's just one of those things, I guess we'll never know. But coming up against Chimaev, see, there's two sides to it, because if Usman fights Chimaev like the way he fought Leon the second time, he's going to lose. If he fights him the way he fought Leon the first time, he's going to win. Because I don't see, Khamzat's got good punches and good body kicks, but he doesn't have great high kicks. He could definitely drop Usman with like a punch or something. I mean, we've seen him do it against Gilbert Burns, but we also seen Usman drop Gilbert Burns with the jab. If he has that same, like if he fights Khamzat like he fought Burns, if he fights Khamzat like he fought Leon Edwards the first time, if he fights Khamzat like he fought Masvidal, I could see him beating Khamzat. But because of his last performance, and I'm just scared it's going to continue like that, I think I'm going to have to lean towards Chimaev, because as I said, we've seen him drop Gilbert Burns, we've seen him win that fight in a scrap on the feet. I could see him TKO and Usman here if he's as hesitant, If he's hesitant, I could see him KOing him in the third round, I believe. Like, back and forth first round maybe. But I could just see Khamzat edging it because of Usman's hesitancy. But, yeah, I just go back to if Usman really tries like he did in those earlier fights, like he could win this. It's a hard fight to pick. I don't believe this fight will be hitting the ground. I believe they'll both be on the feet, banging it out. And I feel like, yeah, if Usman fought Khamzat like he was fighting Jorge Masvidal, he would win. But is he going to? Is he going to is my question. I mean, so say they do end up fighting in October. What was the date? October 21st. Usman's last fight was in March. That's a decent little break. Like, that is a decent break in between those fights, and I feel like he needs that break to kind of work on his craft, because although he didn't get that hurt in his last fight, he definitely needs to just spend some time and work on everything he's done wrong. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, so last time he fought was in March, so he's going to be having a pretty big layoff. Like, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months off. That's a 7-month off. That's good. That's a good time to come back. But Chimaev, man, what's Chimaev been doing? Like, when was Chimaev's last fight? His last fight was against Kevin Holland, but when? Like, Kevin Holland's fought like 3 times. His last fight was in September 2020. I don't know why Khamzat's having so much time off. It's not like he's getting any younger. He's nearly 30. And he really could have been like fighting for the title now. You know, if he went in there straight away, fought somebody like... If he did fight somebody like Burns or somebody like that, he could be... Not Burns, sorry, Bilal. If he fought Bilal, he could be fighting for a title right now. And I believe he would beat... I think he would beat Leon Edwards and win the titles. So I don't know what he's waiting for. I don't know. There's got to be something going on. I don't know if he's being picky with his fights, or maybe he's just not getting offered the right fights, or I don't know. Maybe his management's fucking up. But Chimaev Usman versus Khamzat should be a banger fight. I'm gonna watch it. But yeah, slight lean towards Khamzat coming up. But if Usman comes up like his fights, like, if he fights him like he fought Colby, like he fought Jorge, like he fought Burns, like he fought Woodley, I feel like he's gonna win it. Also, I could see Usman having some good moments on the ground here. Like, maybe same with Chimaev. Like, Chimaev could get him to the ground too. Now that I think about it, like Leon Edwards got him down in their first fight. It's not impossible, and someone with the wrestling of Khamzat, I could see either person getting on top for a moment here. I could see Usman maybe getting on top for a moment. Like we seen Burns on top of Khamzat at one point in their fight. But then we seen Leon get on top of Usman, and it's like, well, who's to say Khamzat can't do that? Oh yeah. I'm leaning at 60-40 Khamzat's way. Hesitant Usman's going to get knocked out in the 3rd round. Non-hesitant Usman, I think, gets the decision win. Here over a gassed out Khamzat Chimaev. Maybe even 10-8s him in the 5th round. Like, I could see that. Because you can say what you want about Usman, but he won't gas. And we don't know if Khamzat will gas over 5 rounds, because we've never seen him in 5 rounds. I could even see a late finish in the 5th round for Usman up against the fence. You know, when he was fighting Leon and he'd get him up against the fence, I could see him doing that to Chimaev in those later rounds. No way he's going to be able to do it in the earlier rounds, but in the later rounds, I could just see him pressuring him up against the fence and ripping body shots, ripping head shots. But he's just got to have the ticker. He's just got to have that go about him in this fight, or else he's not going to be able to do that. Anyway, good fight. Aiming for October the 21st. But as I said earlier, I wouldn't necessarily believe it until we see an official announcement, or till we see Usman say something. I think he tweeted like a winky face at Chimaev, hinting. But still, I've learned to not believe this shit until it actually comes out from a credible source. So Khamzat Chimaev isn't a credible source. But anyway, guys, as always, have a good one. And peace out. Don't know why I did that with my nose then. Have a good one.
Give me 5 minutes, I'ma pull up with like 5 niggas. Give me 5 minutes, girl, I'ma be right with you. just vibing right.